Open a common good grandma. Aren't you lonely now? Kim Hyung-tae bi-monthly co-publisher First Lady Park Jeong-wol has passed away. Who is Park Jeong-wol? Is she a lady? Her grandmother lived 94 years, she had no children she bore to me and she lived alone with no relatives to and from, the last of which were discovered by her nanny. There are only a few people in this world who know the name, which has a beautiful meaning, the moon in the garden. And while Mrs. is a proper word for the First Lady, I still call my grandmother by her name, whom I don't know very much, and mourn her last journey by giving her the title of Mrs. A few years ago, on a hot summer day, I first saw her grandmother at her hospital. Goo Soon's grandmother injured her leg and she was in the hospital, and she was very correct. Her grandmother said that she is her little property, but she wants it to be put to good use for peace and unity. You thought she was single when she was a virgin, and you later found out that her husband, whom she married, has 3 children from her ex-wife. However, I did not give birth to my children and raised them well for them. With his business acumen, he was responsible for the family's livelihood and provided the foundation for a livelihood for the children of his ex-wife to marry. However, they did not intend to take good care of their grandmother, and they took an interest in the property, and finally, not long ago, they spoke up to the end, leading to civil and criminal lawsuits. Her grandmother had her brothers in the north, so long ago they were caught trying to go to the north and sentenced to prison under the National Security Act. However, the ex-wife's children threatened to accuse her grandmother under her national security law using these letters of communication. Now, on the last road, there was no one to come and bow down, so she couldn't even set up a mortuary for her, so her nephews and ex-wife's children, who didn't have much traffic, couldn't hold a funeral on time due to issues with their children's ties, and her grandmother is lying helplessly in a cold freezer. Well, God doesn't care. That her grandmother in her freezer. Why did you trick her into marrying her when she was a virgin? How much better she would have been if she had met a broad-minded bachelor and let her give birth to rabbit-like cubs and let her great-grandchildren shut her eyes. No, even if you can't enjoy such luxury, you can't just let your ex-wife's children and nephews run to the last road and bow down and send them away in tears. It was really resentful for me to have to support her grandmother Yuji to take care of her afterlife. I couldn't sleep and I tossed and turned and thought about it, and it wasn't just that old woman, but everyone else in the world. Where is the common case where the good guys prosper, the bad guys fail, and things go smoothly? It's the same with Jesus. Why did the Son of God, born in a stable like a beggar, hang out with the poor, such as the sick, fishermen, tax collectors, and the poor, before being betrayed by a disciple and crucified next to a robber? No, Jesus himself said that blessed are the poor, blessed are those who mourn, and blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness. No, it is not that there is another God outside of this blemished me, in the faraway kingdom of heaven, who controls my destiny and everything in the world. The realization that I will become your hands and feet and spread your will to the world has come anew. That's right. Although, Baek Han Park is lying in the freezer without a proper funeral and there is no mortuary, this grandmother who gave up everything she had for peace, according to Jesus' words, would not be called Baek Han, but child of God. When I told the old people in their 80s and 90s who had been in and out of prison as red gangsters during her lifelong campaign for unification, they said that they would come on the day of her birthday. And her cremated ashes were placed together in a temple at the foot of Mount Bukhan where her grandfathers, the Red Gang, were first found. Her grandmother, who had been lonely all her life, is no longer lonely, right?